The brand new Thrust, the Falcon Claw Ultra, has to be the most unique racket I have ever laid my hands on. 3 different weight, 3 different shaft diameter, 3 different flexibility rating in the shaft, and honestly, they all play completely differently to each other. If you're gonna ask me who would suit these rackets, well, the reality is everyone. There is a racket in this range to suit your game or play depending on what you are looking for. So it's an amazing concept from Victor, so let's dive into it. Thruster tend to be the more power series from Victor, tend to be slightly head heavy. In the case of the Thruster Falcon Claw, I find the head only just a little bit head heavy compared to the original Drive X12. It's probably slightly more head heavy than that, but not anything crazy like the Ryoga or the Yonex 100ZZ. So those rackets, I can't use. I just find them too heavy for me. But I love the Thruster Falcon Claws. First, let's talk about the design. As you can imagine, a lot of people who have seen the news when this racket first came out, their first original thought is, hey, that looks like a Yonex 88D second version. And I can't argue with that. But I do think upon closer inspection, you'll find that the TFC Ultra tend to be a lot more yellow and green, while the 88D second version tend to be a lot darker. There's a lot more black there compared to the TFC, where the gold is the dominant color, and I love it. I love how shiny and glossy and sparkly it is. Even on the side of the frame, you can see that there's a little bit of green sparkles among the black. Yeah, so I love the pattern, I love the design, I love the soft pastel green that you can see throughout the frame, and I think that lends itself really nicely against that gold and the black background. The choice of font, especially in the frame, I think that's pretty cool and modern as well. TFC Ultra. Victor Australia has been kind enough to send me all 3 weights for the TFC Ultra. And the main reason why I wanted all 3 weights is that I knew that each shaft being so different to each other, their playing characteristic will be also very different to each other. And I can only give you my honest review if I actually have a chance to play with them. So thank you, Victor Australia. 3U, 4U, and 5U. Here are the 3 big differences in the shaft. 1, the diameter is different. 2, the powering. And 3, apparently, the weight distribution of the racket are slightly different from each other. First, shaft diameter. The 3U come with 6mm diameter. The 4U come with 5.8mm diameter shaft, while the 5U come with only 5.6mm diameter. The 5U is so thin and so light. It's an amazing racket. I love this racket. The difference in the diameter of the shaft also affect the stiffness of the shaft. As you can see on the shaft, they do have a stiffness indicator. And the 3U being at the top is super stiff, and that stiffness level drop down as you go down to 4U, which is in the middle, and 5U, which is at the bottom. But even at the 5U, it's still considered as stiff. So the rating of the stiffness on the 4U is actually similar to what you find on the original Drive X12. So if we were to look at the flexibility and the flex point, oh, this is quite stiff. So I feel the flex point is probably about here. This for the 3U. Yeah, definitely a lot lower. While the 4U, yes, so the 4U is definitely easier to flex, but the flex point is still down here, I feel. Yeah, it is much closer to the Drive X12 original, where the flex point is much more towards the handle of the shaft. While the 5U, which is the most flexible shaft, yeah, I feel the flex point is still towards down here. So it looks like the flex point is similar across all 3 rackets. It's just that the 5U is more flexible than the 4U, and the 4U is more flexible than the 3U. In terms of actual playing with the racket, the 3U doesn't have a lot of flex in the shaft at all. The head is exactly where you expect it to be. There's no delay, there's no flex, and it's just heavy, very, very heavy. The 4U is a nice balance across the weight range. When you swing really hard in your smash, you can definitely feel a very, very small delay in the head, but not much, so you don't have to adjust your timing at all. But in terms of clear and drive, the racket reacts very fast to your swing, and the 4U weight just means it's light enough for you to still be very effective and quick at the front court. You can still feel the head heaviness in the frame, so it does require a bit more effort from your body, and especially in the clear and in the smash. With the 5U, it is just so light. You don't even feel like you're actually holding a racket at all, which is an amazing, amazing feeling. Like sometimes when I play with this racket, I feel like I'm not holding anything. It's almost like I'm holding a toy. But at the same time, this racket packs so much power that you would not expect for a 5U. So I know with my kids, they started out on the NanoFlare 170, and that was a 5U, and that racket had just no power. It's almost impossible for me to clear from one end to another end, unless I hit with a really fast shuttle. Wow, this 5U, because of the head heaviness and the stiffness of the shaft, even though it's flexible, but it's still stiff, there's just so much power that comes through and just punch the shuttle, and everything just feels so easy. It is so strange for me to say that this 5U has more power than probably most 4U and 3U rackets out there. I don't know what Victor has done to this, but this 5U is an amazing, amazing racket, and I reckon a lot of people will love this 5U. Second big difference across the three rackets is the presence of the Powering Pro in the 3U, the powering in the 4U, and no powering at all in the 5U. So the powering helps to basically lock the shaft and the handle together. The Powering Pro is much longer, and thus it actually allows the shaft and the handle to act more like one. This will give you a much stiffer feel when you play. And this makes sense for a heavy racket like the 3U. It's stiff, it's strong, it's powerful, and thus the Powering Pro will allow people with big, powerful swing to easily transfer the energy into the racket when they swing. With the 4U being that much lighter, the presence of the powering will still give you that little bit of a stiffness of play, but it's much, much softer, much less demanding, and actually it's a lot easier on the body as well. And then stepping down to the 5U, without the powering at all, it is quite a soft feeling kind of swing and hitting feel, and I feel it's very, very easy on the body. Certainly for those who like an easy feel, who don't want a lot of impact and vibration, the 5U is an amazing, amazing racket. So clearing with the 3U, oh my goodness, it is so heavy. Like I don't feel any extra power coming out of the 3U, but I feel more work. And there's no flex at all. So you really have to generate the head speed to hit it to the back. When you pick up the 4U for clearing, it is so much easier. For me anyway, I can generate much higher racket speed with the 4U, and you can actually feel a little bit of a flex. Oh, this is just so much easier to swing with the 4U. Now, with the 5U, this is even lighter. It's like you're picking up a toy. Oh, there's so much. You can really feel the shaft whipping through and punching it. So certainly I find that when you play with a softer shaft, for me anyway, I can afford to really utilize my punching, my forearm rotation, to really hit the shuttle right at the last minute. With the 3U being so heavy, I need to really use my whole body to swing. If I do this at the last minute, oh, my arm and my shoulder, it's just in pain. But with the 4U and the 5U, I can afford to really wait, and right at the last minute, I can either do a slice, a drop, or squeeze a finger and punch a shuttle. And that's the beauty of playing with lighter racket, and especially with a little bit softer shaft. But what I love about this 5U, even though it's light, it's such a weird feeling that you pick up this racket with such a thin frame, and yet you know there's power there, ready to be used when you really want it. So it's really interesting, because with the 4U being that little bit heavier, and the shaft being that little stiffer and that little bit thicker, you actually have quite a bit of confidence in the power that it holds. Well, the 5U It's really weird because like it has lots of power, but you don't realize that the power is there unless you actually have a chance to play with it and have that confidence in that power sitting there. So 5U is something you have to get used to by playing. While the 4U, it feels a lot more natural in the hand. So with the 3U for smashing, I really need time. I need time to be able to set up my body, set up the rotation and swing. I don't think I can do a stick smash with the 3U. Oh man, that's so much hard work. See, I find the 4U so nice that I can squeeze my finger, rotate the forearms, and then boom. With the 3U, it's just simply too heavy for me to allow me to do this. I feel like I had to swing my whole arm and the whole body just to swing the 3U. So with the 5U, it's just so easy on the body to smash. Mainland, I agree that my smash actually came out faster with the 5U, and I think just because my body is not strong enough, I really enjoy the weight of the 5U and the flex that comes through, but not a lot of flex, just a little bit of flex. And not only that, the flex, remember, the flex is down here, changes the way the whipping works, and Mainland said that my smash with the 5U is actually a little bit steeper than the 4U. So it looks like in terms of smash, the 5U suits my swing a lot more than the 4U, and I cannot swing the 3U at all. So when it comes to driving, I already know what's going to happen. I won't be able to drive with the 3U because it's too heavy. Ellen, can you move one little bit, please? Oh, this is heavy. Oh, the 4U is just so much easier. I feel like they're just the right amount of whip. So it looks like Mainland actually starting to enjoy the 5U racket as well. She found it easier. She found the racket to be the easiest one to use and to hit. For me, when it comes to smashing and receiving the smash from Mainland, her 5U smashes speed-wise is the same as the 4U and the 3U. Except I do feel she was able to get more angle off the 5U. And of course she thought, and she said it was so much easier to hit with the 5U than the 4 and the 3U. That's what I find in the TFC Ultra, the Thruster Falcon Claw Ultra. The 5U is probably my favorite racket out of the lot. And then honestly, I cannot believe that I love playing with the 5U. Most of my racket is 3U. My drive extra is a 3U racket. And I love that racket. I find the TFC Ultra, the slight head heaviness is similar to the Drive X12. The flexibility, it's just a little bit more flexible than the Drive X12, but it's way, way, way lighter. So the combination of being lighter and that slightly more flexible shaft just allow me to have almost the same feeling as the Drive X12, but so much easier on the body. It's just an amazing, amazing racket. I am still trying to figure out between the 5U and the 4U, which one is my favorite. The 4U, when you hold it, you feel a lot more sturdiness, a lot more power in your hand, but you don't necessarily, well, I know, for me anyway, I don't necessarily generate more power with the 4U. Maybe in my head, I think I do because it's supposed to be 4U, stiffer shaft, it should be more heavy, you know, and there's more power. But according to Mainland, my 5U smash and my 4U smashes are the same speed, except for the 5U, apparently I got more angle, more steeper angle out of it. And in the game of double and single, steep smashes are way more important in my book than the power and the speed of the smash. So I'm going to test a little bit more. The Victor Thruster Falcon Claw, the TFC Ultra, is such a unique concept. 3 different weight, 3 different shaft diameter, 3 different flexibility in the shaft, as well as a power ring, pro, power ring, and no power ring in all the 3 different weight, essentially giving you 3 different racket, 3 different feel, 3 different swing weight and styles. And I just feel like there's a racket in this range to suit any player out there. For really, really beginners, for lower junior who want a really nice and easy racket to play, even the 5U is probably a little bit too heavy. Elin, my 9-year-old, she loved the Jiangsu Drive X12, and she felt even with the 5U, it was a little bit too heavy for her. But Mei Lin, she can use the 5U, and she quite enjoyed that. If you're looking for head heavy and probably not too head heavy, the Victor TFC Ultra is probably something you want to consider, and you have to, I cannot stress it enough, you have to go into the shop to try it out for yourself. Even just dry swinging the 3 rackets, you will know exactly what I mean when I say the 3 rackets have 3 different feels. It's going to be so interesting to see if Victor we're going to carry the same concept to future racket design. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant idea. It's no longer about whether you're choosing head heavy or a head light or anything like that. The fact that you have this kind of configuration, it just makes this racket so versatile for so many players. So pretty. I think it's pretty. Let me know in the comment below, what kind of player you are and what racket you think will suit you. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment below, please. It will help the video so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.